Didn't expect that one to work that well. Ow, 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 that was hot. In today's video, we're going to be turning pine cones into flowers. Let's get started. So I could go for a walk in nature, but as you can see, there are actually not a lot of pine trees here. So I went into the store and I actually found a set of natural pine cones. And it was only €1.35. My name is Randy and I like to make art and do crafts. These are normally used for decorations, so they're already cleaned, so I don't have to go and boil my pine cones and let them dry. So yeah, I thought that's a great idea. I'm just gonna buy those. But first we need to get our base done, and I'm just gonna use this 24 by 30 centimeter canvas. And the paints I'm going to be using are the new set from Bleiswijk. I thought they would look great in the background. I do think I'm going to add some titanium white. And I wanted to try a different technique. I saw somebody use this on, I think, Instagram. And you know what? I think it looks cool and a lot easier than just using a brush. It's using a sponge. So hopefully this goes well. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I think that's about as normal for me by now as it is to just do whatever I feel like. In this case, I'm just gonna squirt. These new caps are very hard to close. I'm just gonna squirt some paint on the canvas. Come on. My goodness, come on. Let's put some white in between. If there's still something in there. A bit here. We can always add more. Let's start with the white. Just gonna rub it onto the canvas. Let's start adding the lightest color first. Probably used a little bit too much paint, but that's fine. I can always take some off. Let's try this. Don't forget the sides. These aren't really that opaque, but that's actually what I want. Okay, let's turn this around. Probably should have gotten 2 sponges because now my sponge is quite dirty. Let's just get a piece of paper and just get some off. I think that's good enough. These paints tend to dry real fast. And let's add the purple. Try and blend this. I don't want it to get too muddy, so I don't want to blend too much. How do we think this is looking? Let's just take a paper towel. Might have to start over actually. Okay, take 2. I'm just gonna use a piece of canvas board for now because if it doesn't work out, I'm not destroying another canvas. I think I just want to try a different approach. I'm just going to try and blend it, starting with some white. Okay, let's do some yellow, like so. That's looking okay. Let's do some Qua Breeze. I don't want to go too dark. This is looking promising. Let's first get this blue on. Okay, this is already way too dark. Just putting a little bit of water on. See if I can save this. There's too much blue. It's fine, it's fine. Let's try and add some the blush on top. Hopefully this is not the second canvas I'm ruining today. Otherwise I might have to quit for today and try again tomorrow. Okay, so let's try and grab a small one. And I've got some tools I want to try. I've got my jewelry nippers. Then I've got a pair of big boy nippers. Then I've got some garden nippers. I think I'm probably going to use this one because, as you might know, my hands, they hurt quite a bit. And I think this is probably not going to get through this. Maybe with the small ones, but not with the big ones. But let's just try and get in between and just... Oh wow, okay. Didn't expect that one to work that well. So now... this is what you get, and now I want to go a couple layers down and try and cut it maybe here. Oh no, well that didn't quite work. As you can see, it broke it in half. Let's try again, but with the bigger one, see if it doesn't break the center. You know what, I think I'm just gonna go for these, see if I can get them in between. It needs to go all the way to the other side. Okay, that worked. I don't think you're gonna get a lot of these out of the small ones. This is the front, this is the back. Let's see if we can get one more out of this, and I'm just gonna clean up the top later. Just gonna go somewhere here. I'm just gonna snip it, clean up the back. I was really lucky finding these in the store. I didn't even know they sold them, but I think this will do. Let's see if we can clean this one up. So we have 3. Okay, I think I might have to trim this down a little bit. So I got my inspiration from someone doing this on Instagram, and you normally boil them so you get all the little critters out and then you dry them. But yeah, this is a lot easier. But that little one gave me 3 flowers. You know, I like them even like this, but we're going to be painting them, and I think I might be using this one. Probably gonna add some white and some yellow. But first I'm gonna make some more. So I ended up trying 3 different paint jobs. First I started by doing this one. I like it, but it looks too artificial. Then I decided to try it a different way, but again, it takes away from the natural beauty of it, because if you look at it, it has these shapes, and when you put too much paint on it, that disappears. So I ended up just going for a layer of the pink and adding the yellow in the center, but adding some white first in the center and then adding the yellow. That way it's much more bright, as you can see. So from the 3 I made, I'm going with this one. So I just painted them with a light layer of the pink, and I tried using a flat brush first, but that doesn't go all the way into the nooks and crannies. A round brush is easier, and I don't want to overwhelm it with too much paint. That's 1 layer done. Let's grab the titanium white by Amsterdam. This is a really opaque color. I'm just putting it in the center like that. So now I'm gonna let that dry, and then I'll add the yellow later. So I'm just going to paint these on the backside as well. Probably not gonna see, but I don't want it to be brown. Most of the trees are white, but the ones here in my neighborhood are actually dark pink. So I decided that I wanted to do them pink, and I was thinking about adding a real branch, but I also have like a ton of pipe cleaners left over. So I think I might want to try and make a branch out of pipe cleaners. Let's add the yellow to the center. So I'm just going to go over the white first, like so. And then I'm just going to take a little bit, and I'm just going to paint from the center out. And if I think it's too much, just grab a different brush and just take it off. But I just want to inside to have a little bit of color. I think that looks good. It's actually quite calming to paint these. It's not hard, so you can just relax. I did actually put another layer of paint on the canvas I ruined, and it's drying right now, and it's actually looking kind of promising. So I might actually end up using that one. I'll show you both. All done. I'm actually also not sure if I want to use some green to make some leaves, but I've got some browns in here that I want to use for the branches. I'm not sure about green, because if you look at the picture, you can see there's not a lot of green. There's more just flowers. So I might just don't use the green. Both canvases are dry. I think I might still want to use this one, but let's see how it looks with the flowers on top. What do we think? Maybe get pipe cleaners out. The light brown is, I think, way too beige. The dark brown will work the best. So let's see. You know what? I think I'm gonna go for this one. I think this one is just a little bit too light. Let's just put this to the side. I'm just gonna use hot glue to fix this to the canvas. But before that, I think I might just have a play around with my composition. So what do we think about this? I actually really like it. So I think I'm gonna first glue down the pipe cleaners. I also painted some individual petals, which I might want to create some buds with, and that's easier if you have like a pipe cleaner and I can glue them around. So that's what my thoughts were on those. I actually took a picture of this composition, so if I mess it up, I know where they go. Just gonna remove these. Oh. And I think I want to twist these together. I think I want to actually go over the edge. Let's get a nipper. I think this one can be a little bit shorter. And then these be twisted together like this, cutting off the ends. I think I might want to go a little bit closer, something like that. So let's start by gluing this one down here, like so. I always use too much of that hot glue. Now let's put a little bit of glue right about here. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I'm using my new wide angle lens so I can show you my whole work area, but the focus isn't that good. So let me know down in the comments what you think about this lens and if I should keep using it. Okay, I think that's actually quite good. Like, I don't know what crafters would do without hot glue. It's such a good hack to glue something and have it be stuck down immediately. There are a lot of other glues, but this is probably the safest, easiest glue to use, as long as you're not burning yourself on it. The only thing is, once it's down, and it's not going anywhere anytime soon without damaging what's underneath. So you better be sure you want it to be there on that specific spot. But it has saved my butt behind so many times while crafting. Okay, I think this one here, it's not as good as a real branch, but it's better than expected actually. Let me grab my picture. So I had 3 here. Let's do those first. I'm just putting the hot glue on here. I'm using quite a bit. I really think this is a really nice craft to do. It's not that hard. The hardest part really is cutting those pine cones down and not getting these glue strings everywhere. Okay, I'm probably just going to work on this. I think I might want to add this one here. It's the last one I've got. I think that will look good. So if I wanted to add anything else, I need to make it. But this is how it's looking so far. I think that's really cute. I really want to try and make one of those flower buds. So let's just use one of the pipe cleaners. I might actually want to make it a little bit thicker. Like that. Let's see. Some of these have a little bit too much of the center still to it. So I'm just going to carefully cut that off. Let's just try it. I'm not sure if this is going to work. I'm just going to put one on each side and go from there. It's looking more like a clamshell than a bud. I think I might have to interlock them a little bit. So let's see if that works. I've just got the 2 in the center. And I put this one here, and then I'm going to put the next one inside like that. It's a little bit like when you make a rose. Next one, putting it in between and over top. That looks kind of cute. Maybe a little ring of pipe cleaner around it. I can hide the edges. Let's just try it. Just gonna, ow, 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 that was hot. I'm just going to wrap it around. That looks like a flower bud, right? It's just starting to bloom. Yeah, I think that's gonna look cute. I think I might add one more bud there. And then it's time for the final reveal. So I thought it was finished, but I made some leaves using this color of pipe cleaner. And I was putting it in here and I was like, that's too big. So I ended up just cutting them in half. Do you like that? I think I do. So let me just quickly show you how I did this. And you can see a full tutorial of pipe cleaner flowers and petals in my other video. But let's just take this for measurement. I'm just going to fold this over like so. Then twisting it here like that. Then I'm going to pull this end back up to that loop. And then going through the loop, pulling it tight, and then cutting it. And you just squeeze to make these sides flat. So now you have a little bit of an end here and a little bit of an end here. And to create this look, because now it's all fuzzy, I'm just gonna put it in between some parchment paper and iron it just on medium heat and go slow. And to create the edge, I just go around it with a flame. And then in the end, I'm just gonna cut it in the center. And now I have 2 of these pieces. And this is small enough to go in there, like so. And that just adds that tiny bit of color I was missing. So I'll just be making a couple more, and then it's time for the final reveal. So here's the final result, and I'm actually really happy with how it turned out. I did end up adding these branches here. I think that made it look so much better. It really feels like the branch is going from here all the way to the top. And I really think those pipe cleaner leaves added that pop of color I was missing. And if you haven't seen the piece I did with just the pipe cleaners, I'll put the link to the video in the description. But yeah, I'm really happy how it turned out. I love the 3D effect. It doesn't matter where you're standing, you're gonna see the flowers in every direction. If you have any questions or suggestions, just leave them down below in the comment section and I'll try to reply to them as soon as I can. But for now, I wanna thank you for watching and I'd love to see you in the next one. Bye everyone!